Monty, do you want to pray
Sure.
for us this morning?
Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for this day. And Lord, we just thank you for all your many blessings upon us as a court, us as a county, and our state and country, Lord. Lord, we just ask that you be with us this morning as we conduct the county's business, and just keep us ever mindful that we're representing you here on earth, Lord. Lord, just be with all those that are still dealing with COVID and all the other sickness that we have going around, and we just lift them up to you. And we just pray all these things in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we'll go ahead and call Marshall County Fiscal Court to order October 19th, 2021. First on the agenda, Brian Cutsinger. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How is everybody?
Good.
Good.
I won't take up too much of your time, and Corey has already thrown me off this morning because typically I don't get to open the bids. But Corey let me open the bids today, so I feel a little bit special. So thank you, Corey, for that. My day has been made. But we recently sent out to obtain bids for an ambulance remount. I sent 2 bid specification packets out to 2 vendors. We received one bid. The other vendor emailed me back, and because of the delay in getting chassis, they are so backed up in their build list that they would not be able to deliver us the truck in a timely manner, so they just opted not to bid. I sent that correspondence to Corey as well. So kind of appreciate that, because we didn't want to take their bid and then be hung out for 2 years or so on getting that. So Select Tech submitted a bid, which is a company that we've used many times in the past. They've done every one of our remounts to date. Close proximity to us, so if we ever have issues, they're just on the other side of Nashville. We can run a truck down there. Good on their prices. They do good quality work. Their bid they submitted was $102,700. So with everything kind of looking at this, I would recommend going with Select Tech. Like I said, they're reputable. We've used them many, many times in the past. One thing to keep in mind with this is that because of the delay in getting chassis, is that whenever I spoke with them, they said we're roughly a year away from getting a chassis. So once I let them know and they place the order for the chassis, it's probably going to be a year before they can get the chassis, and then another 3 to 4 months in actually doing the work on it. So even though it's approved today, if this is approved today, that it's still going to be a pretty timely process in getting this truck done.
What do you do as far as payment is
Do what?
concerned? Do you have to pay half up front, or you
No,
pay it
no,
all, or what do you?
To the company?
Yeah.
No, typically we pay upon receipt. Once we go pick up the truck, we pay it in full. That's where I know in the past we've kind of had to do that depending on how long it takes them to get the remount done, as far as looking at those monies going over into the next fiscal year. Something, obviously, it's not ideal. We like to try to do it before that, but sometimes, just depending on how things go, it does end up doing that. And it does look from this case that with the delay in getting chassis, is that we probably will be put in that position next year for that.
Is that price locked, Brian, for a certain period of time or anything?
Yeah, once it's accepted, this will be the price for
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Move we approve.
Second.
Second, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Right.
Appreciate it,
Thank you,
Brian.
guys.
Thank you.
Thanks. Correspondence, item A, Southwest One. We had a big announcement, obviously, the KEDFA grant that we had put into, so. Brady, am I reading it? Yeah,
Sure.
I got a headache. I was in.
This is from the Office of the Governor. We did post this on our Facebook page, so hopefully a lot of the public had seen it, so we just wanted to read this as part of correspondence. Southwest One Industrial Park Site upgrades position, Marshall County, for future job growth. Frankfort, Kentucky, October 13th, 2021. Kentucky's sites and buildings inventory continues to be developed as demand increases from companies looking to locate and expand in the Commonwealth. Today, Governor Andy Beshear announced local leadership in Marshall County is moving forward with upgrades to the Southwest One Industrial Park, better positioning the location to attract new business. More than ever, company leaders want to locate in Kentucky or expand their presence here, Governor Beshear said. To meet that demand, we must ensure communities across our state offer state-of-the-art sites and buildings that can accommodate businesses of any size and specialty. This proactive effort will position Marshall County to welcome even more great economic development opportunities in the future, and that's how we can continue to create quality jobs for Kentucky residents. Upgrades at Southwest One Industrial Park will include a dense grade extension of Southwest One Boulevard, the addition of an aluminum box culvert across from Game Branch, and construction of an expandable 120,000 square foot building pad-ready site. The Marshall County location was selected for funding through the Product Development Initiative in 2021. PDI was created through a partnership between the Kentucky Cabinet for Economic Development and the Kentucky Association of Economic Development to provide competitive grants to Kentucky economic development organizations and local governments to supplement site and building improvement projects. PDI aims to create jobs and incorporate investment by enhancing the quality and quantity of Kentucky's available sites and buildings. As well, it encourages collaboration among Kentucky economic developers and stakeholders with an emphasis on speed to market to help new and expanding businesses quickly find suitable locations in Kentucky. Matt Tackett, president and CEO of KAED, said PDI helps communities take a major step forward to attract new business. The Product Development Initiative is a key tool to bolster our ability to provide global enterprise with quick and risk-free site selection experiences, Tackett said. KAED congratulates the Marshall County community and the Kentucky Lake Economic Development Team for winning a PDI grant for further preparing an important regional asset for investment and for accelerating economic opportunity in the Commonwealth. The world is well aware of undeniable Kentucky advantage, which is evident all across our state, including right here in Marshall County. PDI boosts the Commonwealth's ability to attract a diverse base of businesses of every size. This adds to the state's numerous other advantages, including its ideal geographic location with its border within a day's drive of 2/3 of U.S. population, the lowest industrial electric cost east of the Mississippi River, and a skilled workforce ready to meet the needs of any company. Dennis Smith, chair of the Marshall County Industrial Development Authority, said the site upgrades will benefit the local workforce. This award will allow the Marshall County IDA to position itself much better in the industry recruitment arena and secure companies that will pay good wages and benefits for our area workforce, Smith said. This project award will move Southwest One Industrial Park at least 6 months ahead and will be a major draw for industries considering site selection in Western Kentucky. Josh Tubbs, president of Kentucky Lake Economic Development, added that the collaboration between state and local economic development groups will help position the community for future growth. It is exciting to see Marshall County leadership partnering with KED and the Kentucky Cabinet of Economic Development to continue its commitment to develop quality sites for expanding or new companies to consider, Tubbs said. I am confident that this development will allow our community to continue to attract investment in the future. We are grateful to KED and KCED for their partnership. Marshall County Judge Executive Kevin Neal said the upgrades to this site will help continue the region's economic growth. This is a great opportunity to partner with the Kentucky Cabinet for Economic Development, City of Benton, Marshall County IDA, and the Marshall County Fiscal Court on the continued efforts to develop Southwest One, Judge Executive Neal said. These partnerships are valuable to our mission and are important for our community's success. Benton Mayor Rita Dotson expressed gratitude for the community's opportunity to better position itself to attract growing businesses in the future. We're excited to begin another phase of Southwest One, and we are thankful for the opportunity to attract new business with a pad-ready site, Mayor Dotson said. Investment in the Marshall County site furthers recent economic momentum in the Commonwealth as the state surges ahead in response to the efforts of the pandemic. In September, Governor Beshear, Ford Motor Company Executive Chair Bill Ford, CEO Jim Farley, and Dong C.G., President of SK Initiatives Battery Business, announced the single largest economic development project in the history of Commonwealth, celebrating a transformative $5.8 billion investment that will create 5,000 jobs and places Kentucky at the forefront of the automotive industry's future. Year to date, Private sector new location and expansion announcements include over $8.7 billion in total planned investment and the creation of 12,000 plus full-time jobs across the coming years. Through July, Kentucky's average incentivized hourly wage is $23.47 before benefits, a 6.2% increase over the previous year. In July, thanks to strong fiscal management by the Beshear administration, the state Budget Office reported the Commonwealth ended the 2021 fiscal year with a general fund surplus of over $1.1 billion, the highest ever in the Commonwealth, and a 10.9% increase in general fund receipts to $12.8 billion. In May, Moody's Analytics published a positive economic outlook for Kentucky, noting mass vaccination as the driving force behind a sustained recovery in consumer services. The state's recovery, Moody's said, benefited from earlier reopening efforts and increased demand for manufactured goods over services. The report also found Kentucky's manufacturing industry outperformed the nation since the national downturn last year. Fitch Ratings in May improved the state's financial outlook to stable, reflecting the Commonwealth's solid economic recovery. The state's April sales tax receipts set an all-time monthly record at $486.5 million, as vehicle usage tax receipts at over $64 million. In March, Site Selection Magazine's annual Governor's Cup rankings for 2020 positioned Kentucky atop the South Central region and third nationally for qualifying projects per capita. The Commonwealth also placed seventh overall in total projects, the highest of any state with a population under 5 million. Site Selection also recently placed Kentucky in a tie for fifth in the 2021 Prosperity Cup rankings, positioning the state among the national leaders for business climate. To encourage future investment and location of an economic development project, the Kentucky Development Finance Authority in September approved a grant agreement with the Marshall County Industrial Development Authority under the Economic Development Fund program. The grant agreement may provide up to $285,241 in funding on a reimbursement basis based on the project investment of $578,482. For more information on the product development initiative, click a link.
Thanks, Brad. Under correspondence, we had a Zoom meeting with Kentucky Fish and Wildlife, and I just want to make sure that this correspondence gets put up onto the county's webpage so that people can access it. We did put it out on our Facebook page. This is the special deer regulations for the chronic waste disease. If folks that watch the fiscal court meetings go to either the Facebook page or they go to the county webpage, they can access this. There's links to the Kentucky Fish and Wildlife that explain during this deer season the zones. Obviously, the counties are going to be Callaway, Fulton, Graves, Hickman, and Marshall counties that will be affected by this chronic waste disease surveillance. There isn't, at this point, any chronic waste disease in Kentucky, but since there was one identified in Tennessee, Fish and Wildlife, the commissioner feels it's important to get out in front just to put out checkpoints to make sure that we don't have chronic waste disease in Kentucky for the harvest year during this gun season. So folks that watch, go to the county webpage or go to Facebook, and there will be several links and literature that you can access to educate yourself on what Fish and Wildlife is doing for this gun season, or this deer season. Under old business, item A, approve the minutes, October 12th meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Second, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Under new business, proclamation, first responders appreciation month. We do this every year. I'll just read this proclamation. Marshall County Fiscal Court Proclamation, First Responders Appreciation Month. Whereas first responders include professional and volunteer fire, police, dispatch, emergency medical technician, and paramedic workers, and 911 dispatchers in the United States. And whereas first responders risk their own lives and safety in the execution of their duties to protect the public on a daily basis, and whereas first responders are the first line of defense for the public against threats, both domestic and foreign, and whereas first responders experience extreme physical demands and hazardous situations that contribute to personal injury or death, including gunfire, vehicular accidents, and assaults, and whereas first responders experience high levels of stress and many struggle with mental health issues such as post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, which family members of first responders also often develop, and whereas thousands of first responders have made the ultimate sacrifice, and whereas first responders deserve to be recognized for their commitment to safety, defense, and honor, and whereas first responders stand at the ready to come to the aid of the citizens of Marshall County 24 hours a day and 7 days a week, and whereas first responders are a vital part of our community, not only standing ready to deal with emergencies, but also volunteering in our schools and community organizations, and whereas we recognize and honor all first responders who put their lives on the line daily to serve and protect the people of Marshall County, Kentucky, and therefore, the Marshall County Fiscal Court does hereby proclaim the month of November First Responders Appreciation Month in Marshall County. Given under my hand on this 19th day of October 2021. All right. Item B under new business, the RDAP resolution. This is the TVA's 6%, the legislation that was passed a couple years ago. I'm just going to read this resolution. Fiscal year 2021, authorizing and designation of SPGE resolution, County of Marshall. Adoption of a resolution of the Marshall County Fiscal Court designating the Marshall County Industrial Development Authority Special Purpose Government Entity, SPGE, to receive Tennessee Valley Authority TVA funds under the Regional Development Agency Assistance Program, RDAP, and authorizing the filing of a Regional Development Agency Assistance Program, RDAP, proposal grant application for up to $153,846.15 in RDAP funds with the Department for Local Government, DLG, and authorizing the designated Marshall County Industrial Development Authority Special Purpose Government Entity to act as the authorized correspondent for this project. Whereas Marshall County desires to promote and carry out economic development efforts and job creation activities on behalf of the residents of Marshall County by supporting the project, and whereas it is recognized that RDAP funds available to the county pursuant to KRS Chapter 96 impose certain obligations and responsibilities upon the county and will require, 1, approval of a satisfactory application to be transmitted to DLG for approval, 2, the designation of a special purpose government entity, SPGE, established under KRS 15450 through 301, to KRS 15450 through 346, and 3, concurrence from the respective state representatives and state senators. Now, therefore, be it resolved this 19th day of October 2021 by the Marshall County Fiscal Court that the following special purpose government entity is designated to receive Regional Development Agency Assistance Program funds. Name of SPGE, Marshall County IDA. Contact person is Dennis Smith. The RDAP project proposal application on behalf of the county for RDAP monies up to $153,846.15 for Southwest 1 project shall be submitted to DLG. The county shall provide such additional information and furnish such documentation as may be required, and the designated SPGE shall act as the authorized correspondent for this project.
Motion to approve the resolution, Judge.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, item C, MediaCom contract. This is the contract for internet. I pulled the one for basic cable. We're going to look at the franchise agreement. We believe that the franchise agreement may state that basic service in the franchise agreement is free to government agencies. That's something that we're going to look into. But the person that was contacted with MediaCom on the cable was unaware of the franchise agreement, so that's why I pulled that, so we can look into that.
Yeah, I think there's a provision for schools, fire departments, maybe a couple others.
Yeah, so it wouldn't, the reason why these contracts are on here mainly is for the reoccurring costs, which under the admin code, reoccurring costs have to be approved by the court. But if that franchise agreement states that the service, basic service is available to our 911 center, then we don't need to go through that process.
But they didn't, but the ones that you have on there, or the one that you have on there though, is combined though, right? You have to take off cable from that, right?
Yeah, this one has,
Is the only, there was one just for cable, and then there was one for cable and internet.
yeah, this one should be just internet.
Oh, you have one just for internet?
Okay.
Sure.
Well, then
Yeah,
yeah,
that one's,
so we need to strike the
Yes.
one that has cable.
yes. It would be the 423.90 minus 233.95,
Yes.
right? It should just be that 169.95 plus $20. Isn't that right? If it's just the internet.
Yeah, it should be. When we did that franchise with MediaCom, I'm not even sure that they provided internet at that time. It's been 13? I thought it was longer.
You know what I'm saying? I thought there's not one with just internet on it, unfortunately. There's one with just cable.
Franchises is in 13?
Andy was saying that it was maybe in the 80s or 90s. We had one 13, and I think you said one 2007.
Well, 7 sounds right, but that, I thought that was MediaCom.
Yeah, we have a MediaCom. 13. But you know what I'm saying? It's not just internet. I wonder if they would, is it something
20-year
that we can
franchise.
find out and then, or do we
Yeah.
have to have it signed?
Well, the actual service, because it's internet and the technology that is there, the vendors that are going to be there, I think next week, they're trying to make sure that they get everything set up.
As long as you can strike
The-
through the.
Yeah, the biggest thing was in our admin code, any reoccurring cost has to go through the court. But Chris had advocated that the internet, if everyone, the best example is the Christmas Day with AT&T, they had both redundancy in the same building, and the Christmas Day bombing obviously affected their redundancy, and it affected us, Western Kentucky for that matter. So the redundancy, diversity, and internet is why we have to have that. So that way if, say, Paducah power goes down, we have backup for their service that they provide. We have an alternative service for internet. And I'm looking on this.
I'm okay with the internet. I just don't want to lock in to the total until we know. Like as long as we can strike through the cable section.
I see a double asterisk on the business basic video, but I don't see it down below.
What, the double asterisk?
After business basic video, the 8395, that explains what that is. Unless I'm missing it, I don't see it. I see the one asterisk for the term of service.
One asterisk, which is the service term.
Yeah. Because I want to make sure that the basic video is not something that is tied to internet. I don't have a problem striking out the cable, but I want to make sure what we're striking out, because this technology is. Take a look at that, Jason. See if you can find the double asterisk on the. I can't find it. I may be overlooking it. Brad's got one, hang on a second, it's 97, service to schools and county, franchise shall, subject to the line extension provisions of section 4, provide basic cable service at no cost to public and parochial elementary and secondary schools at one terminal junction for educational purposes upon request of the school system. So it's not media. That must be.
Cable vision.
When you
All right, I
grant a
got it.
franchise like this.
2014-11.
So this would have been with it.
I sent it to somebody who was asking me about it one time.
Grant a franchise by ordinance, so. Franchisee.
It's 2014-11 is the
Newer
MediaCom.
one?
Franchisee, huh? 2014-11 is what I've got. It was a 15-year franchisee or franchise agreement.
Say the franchisee is under definitions.
Yeah, I think it was MediaCom. MediaCom Southwest LLC.
Well, the one we looked at was 2013.
See what I'm talking about? 2014.
So that's not an ordinance.
2014 or
Huh?
2015?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is an ordinance.
2014-11 is the one I have.
Here it is. I see it.
It's, I don't know. .11 is cable service to public buildings.
Yeah, owned by us, fire stations, police stations, K through 12. That's got to be the most recent.
It is, because it was a 15-year, it's a 15-year one. Surely we,
Well, the previous year, the one that we pulled up was 2013. So apparently we've got. Can you access the 2014? The 2013 is a 15-year with MediaCom. So I don't know if, assuming the 2014 would supersede the 2013, but. Because it didn't state anything in the 2013.
I wonder why it was just a year later.
Could have been a change in ownership.
And that was for.
Could have been.
Yeah.
I wonder if that 2013 was charter. No, that happened a long time ago.
Yeah.
Didn't it?
This one.
I mean, these entities get bought up and subsumed into one another all
Yeah,
the time.
do you have to change when that happens? You would think it'd say and/or assignees or something, right?
It says or lawful successor, so I don't know why they had a following one the following year.
Was it Southeast LLC, MediaCom Southeast LLC? That's what this one is, too.
Yeah, there must have been something, obviously, that changed it, but it does state that cable is to be, the basic cable is,
Well, it looks like to me.
yeah.
Isn't that, well, you read it? Without charge, standard installation outlet of basic cable service to those administration buildings owned and occupied by the franchising authority.
But it doesn't, my question, though, is the business basic video. It's on both the cable and the internet. And 2 asterisks. Did you find?
There's nothing with 2 asterisks on this thing.
No, I don't know what that,
So the business basic video, there's no description, so,
I think we need to get a clarification on that.
yeah. Why don't, because they're gonna be setting everything up next week. In the meantime, the big issue is our admin code talks about recurring contracts. As far as the details in this, what's the best way to where we can have an action to where we can proceed with setting things up? I mean, we can obviously come back with a special call meeting, but is there anything that we can do today? Obviously, basic video, business basic video, we need clarification on that.
I guess, I mean, if you want to vote today, the vote could be to approve, subject to MediaCom providing clarification that satisfies our needs at these facilities. Hopefully, that would be written clarification from them.
So moved.
Second. To the county attorney's recommendation.
Yes.
So the motion is to approve the contract with the written, MediaCom's written clarification of our needs for the internet service. There's a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries, and I will get on that today. But that's my note on there for this one. All right, we'll go on to new business, item D, ordinance 2021-07, budget amendment, first reading.
Ordinance 2021-07, an ordinance related to the annual budget and amendment thereof. Whereas the County of Marshall has received additional funds, now be it ordained by the Fiscal Court of Marshall County that Section 1, the annual budget for fiscal year 2021-2022 is amended to A, increase revenue accounts as follows. General fund miscellaneous, $61,036.74. Surplus equipment, $7,400. Insurance proceeds, $430. General fund miscellaneous, $15,024.06. Insurance proceeds, $7,640.36. CDBG federal grant, that's our utility grant, $200,000. E911 balance, July 1 beginning balance, $39,222.56. B, increase expenditure accounts as follows. Fiscal Court 319 grant funds, $55,036.74. Computer software development, $6,000. Road county paving, $5,400. Road safety, $2,000. County park supplies, $430. County fuel expenses, $15,024.06. Ambulance parts and repairs, $7,640.36. CDBG federal grant, that's the utility grant, $200,000. And 911 center upfit, $39,222.56 for the total of both increased revenue and increased expenditures of $330,753.72. Section 2, the amount added to the revenue and expenditure accounts in Section 1 are for governmental purposes. Approved by Marshall County Fiscal Court the 19th day of October, 2021.
Is there any discussion? If not, is there a motion?
First reading.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, we'll move on to item E, Treasurer's Report.
Okay, I put that on your drive, and that's just an amended report of the 6/30, 21 quarter four report that I told you guys when I presented the first one. I'd probably present another one after we finished correcting some software issues, and that has happened. So that correction is there. There's very little difference. Most of it is in an encumbrance difference. And then there were a few voided checks that were voided in the new system, not the old system. So that's the updated one, updated and final of that. I think that one has to be approved. I'm not for sure.
That's the final for the fiscal year
Last year's fiscal year. 2021. 2021. We're in 22.
2020. Yeah, 2020, 2021.
Yes.
Don't. Yeah.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, we have appropriation transfers from the general fund investment to the 911 center upfit for $288,536.27. That does require a bank transfer, and that bank transfer is from the general fund investments savings account to the EO 911 account. I also have another transfer that's just a budgeted occupational tax transfer from the occupational tax fund to the general fund, and that's $400,000.
Move we approve the transfer.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Is there any reason to deny payment of the bills and claims? Hearing none, let the clerk record that the bills and claims are to be paid. And no further discussion, need a motion to adjourn.
Or I'd like, Jason sent us an email yesterday on that sheriff's office retirement contribution issue. We get an update on that.
Back in the summer, the retirement had made a determination that there was back monies owed for some of the retired police officers that had been rehired. I think that number was 300 and something thousand. I sent a brief to various individuals at retirement and convinced them to change course, so we do not owe that anymore.
Thank you for your efforts on that appeal. That was a lot of money we were looking at. Appreciate it. Clarifies everything for the sheriff.
Appreciate you all backing me, being, that we didn't have to unlawfully pay this money.
Well, I think we also have to understand too that the paperwork, because I think they're changing the regulations due to this. The paperwork wasn't filed, so that's something to look at going forward, and this has probably happened across the state with other agencies. Because the effect that we had preparing a budget with not having any communication, we had to set aside those monies. I know we had discussed where those monies would come from if we did have to pay, but it just goes to show documentation. If that's something that the state required, there may be a legal side to it, but the documentation wasn't submitted properly, so we also have to keep that in mind moving forward.
Would you like me to respond to that?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. Do you all know what triggered this? Was documentation submitted by the treasurer's office? The treasurer's office didn't do anything wrong. We didn't do anything wrong in this situation. KRS backed us. KAR backed us. You know, there's other forms with KPPA that's going to have to be addressed due to them not following statute. And once again, I'll just reiterate, thank the three commissioners for being willing to fight for the taxpayers' money.
It's about documentation.
Then you need to make the decision on who does that. Either they do that or we do that. We did not have any authority to talk to the KPPA until after this issue was brought up.
Yeah.
As the sheriff, I was not on that
The
authority.
documentation,
I did not have the approval to even speak to them.
the documentation, you were on the emails, but not to get into a tit for tat. I think the key here is that the documentation was laid out. If it's a legal procedural process that they are looking at, that's fine, but as
The
of right
key is
now,
that
the
you would have
document,
thrown away $365,000 had they not backed us.
the documentation was not filled out. That's my point.
That documentation was not required by the regs.
Exactly.
Well, we know that now, but prior to, that's my point. The documentation was actually required.
We had no reason to know that that was required, though.
You're missing my point.
No, I
If
think
the
we got
state-
your
if the
point. That's the
state-
deal.
Hang on a second.
We
Yeah,
had no
no.
reason to know that that was required because it
Yeah.
wasn't in the regs, and we
Nor
didn't
did the
even know that
treasurer's
those
office.
forms existed.
The documents that they sent us stated the procedural documents to be filled out.
Did he get them?
No.
He was on the email communications.
What I get is an approval from the officers saying that they've been approved by KPPA to come back to work. They meet those requirements, the 7293.
Here's what I'm going to say. It's about documenting,
And that's a deflection.
and that's simple.
And that's a deflection because you was willing to throw away all that money because of a personal vendetta against me.
Well, you can think that.
I think
The
that's pretty clear.
documentation that came in from the state, there was no documentation. Now, the legal argument, obviously, what you submitted to the state, they're looking at it, but the documentation is still out there that needs
So
to be
what would be your
required.
justification for voting against that?
Sheriff, you had your comments. My comment was documentation wasn't submitted in the discussion. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.